Hello and welcome into a Monday edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. And I'm so grateful to be joining you. My name is Kevin Hickson. I am your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And Arizona State football, we will get to very shortly. But the men's basketball program secured a massive 82 to 79 victory over the Santa Clara Broncos on Saturday night. And we did discuss this at length on yesterday's edition of the podcast, but that was one of the most impressive halves of basketball that I have seen from a Bobby Hurley team in a long time. Well, the Oklahoma game as well, but that's just the last few weeks of action for Arizona State have just been a joy to watch. It's a microcosm of the team that Bobby Hurley decided to build, a team full of underdogs that are much better than anybody expected, that flew under the radar for various reasons. And I think everybody's starting to pick up that this team is very much here to stay. They might not be a top team in the Big 12. I mean, when your competition is Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, Texas Tech, it's very tough to be at the very top. But they have a very real chance to be in the middle of the pack. And the middle of the pack team is going to be an NCAA tournament team and possibly a top 7 or 8 seed in the NCAA tournament, depending on how the rest of the season transpires. But Bobby Hurley has his team in a phenomenal position. I just wanted to start off today's show really hammering that down. And that leads me into the football conversation. Arizona State is just a little over 2 weeks away from closing out the 2025 season. It was a season full of ups and downs, full of injuries, full of drama off the field between the Sam Levitt saga, the Kenny Dillingham coaching rumors, and Charlie Ragel's taking a step aside. Um, and they really navigated it very well in my mind. I know there were some losses that were extremely disappointing. You can't really ever justify losing to Arizona, at least from the lens of an Arizona State fan. And that game was very sloppy offensively. And the loss to Houston, they were obviously very lifeless for about 3 quarters of that game. There were the Mississippi State game, if you don't give up 3 big plays, you win that game pretty handily. It is what it is, but you have some triumphs along the way that really give you a reason to believe that this is sustainable, that what Kenny Dillingham is building is lasting and sustainable. The win over Texas Tech, most of all, that was an incredible performance. I'd consider that a top 5 win by a team in college football during the 2025 regular season. Arizona State was not only the only team to beat Texas Tech during the 13 games that they played, they were the only team that got within 10 points of them. And the Big 12 runner-up BYU got outscored by them. I believe it was 63 to 14, I believe, in those 2 games that they played. So that was a big triumph. The first 2 Big 12 games against Baylor and TCU, that put them in position to be in position against 2 very talented offenses, the way they finished those games out. The win over Iowa State, knowing that Sam Levitt was out for the season, knowing that Charlie Ragel was taking a step aside. There were a lot of distractions. Distractions abound that week, and they came out and won a game in Ames. There's a lot to hang your hat at, and a big part of that was due to Jordyn Tyson, who got named to the AP All-American third team on Monday morning. And I really just wanted to talk about Tyson's impact on the season, his impact to the program, and what it means for Arizona State long term. So, as we all know, Jordyn Tyson had an absolutely incredible first 7 games of the season. He secured 57 catches for 628 yards and 8 touchdowns through those games. The last game that he played before he went down for about a month was the game against Texas Tech. 10 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown against the dominant defense in Texas Tech. I know Texas Tech's defensive front, their front seven is what their calling card really is. But the fact that he did that with a hamstring injury is just absolutely incredible. And that is just, that's a testament to the hard work that he's put in. That's a testament to Hines Ward's coaching. That's a testament to Kenny Dillingham having faith in his offense even when it wasn't clicking as it should have. And even though Arizona State was able to rattle off a couple of wins without Tyson, you could tell the offense really hit a plateau without him. And he was a very, very welcome presence in that Colorado game. Only 2 catches for 61 yards in that game, I believe, but those 2 catches were absolutely inconsequential. They set the tone for what ended up being a very, very potent fourth quarter performance offensively. And that's possibly what is most impressive with Jordyn Tyson's junior season, is that he had no reason to make a return after going down with that hamstring injury, but he worked tirelessly to come back to play the last 2 or 3 games, however many of his career, for the Sun Devils, for his teammates, for Kenny Dillingham. And that's possibly what's most admirable about the season that he had. And I'd argue if he didn't hurt his hamstring against Texas Tech and he was able to play the full 12-game schedule, that he probably would have gone for 1,300 yards, that he probably would have scored 13 to 14 touchdowns, that he probably would have been in the range of 100 receptions. He wasn't, but the fact that he started the season so productive just lent him a lot of runway, and he still is an AP All-American. Funny enough, he was on the same team, the third team, as TCU receiver Eric McAllister. So Big 12 is the place for wide receiving talent right now outside of Ohio State. What does Tyson's selection mean for the future of the Arizona State football program as a whole? Well, the fact that Arizona State has had All-American selections in back-to-back years, that just simply points to the fact that the player development within this program is second to none. The fact that Kenny Dillingham retains his coaches at an extremely high level means that players that sign on, whether you're a JUCO player, a transfer portal player, or a high school player, you're likely going to have the same position coach for, if not your entire career, a majority of it in Tempe. And that has to mean something. You look at Hines Ward, a poster child for how to play the wide receiver position correctly. Sean Aguano continuing to build up his catalog of NFL level running backs produced under his watch. Deron Reynolds, probably going to have some players playing on Sundays eventually on his defensive line, most notably of which is CJ Fight. Brian Carrington developed Keith Abney, developed Javen Robinson, developing Rodney Bimage Jr. There is just so many things that are going right for this Arizona State program, despite the questions and challenges that face them in the heat of the moment. And I believe that Arizona State fans should be absolutely ecstatic that Jordyn Tyson ended his career as an All-American, and that can really be used as a chip for positive momentum moving into the full future of Arizona State football. And that is really all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in once again to another edition of the Sun Devils Insider Podcast, and I will see you with another episode tomorrow. Thank you so much.